Hi, my name is John Swenton. I'm a solution engineer with VIAVI Solutions. Today, I'm going to be covering how to use a DWDM OTDR in Smart Test mode. So from the home screen, I go ahead and I select Smart Test. The OTDR starts. I go ahead and I hit File. Select the directory that I want to put my results in. I'm going to save my results at the end. So I'm going to select Test. Go back and hit Setup. Confirm the wavelength that I want to shoot, which is channel 21, 1560.61. Go ahead and reconfirm that on your mux to make sure you're selecting the correct channel, which I am, channel 21. And from here, go ahead and hit the start button and start the OTDR trace. So it's going to first do a connector check to make sure the OTDR connectors are clean and crisp and ready to go. I can see that my connectors do look good. This particular shot is going to take 23 seconds. Before I insert my fiber into the OTDR port, I want to inspect the OTDR test jumper that I'm using, as well as the OTDR port. If they're dirty, go ahead and clean them. So I'm done. I see a quick snapshot, the end of fiber, and the total link loss. If I wanted to take a look at the actual graph,
I can't do that.
Go ahead and hit the actual graph. I can see a traditional OTDR graph. So I can see I've got several connectors on here. One of my connectors is red, meaning it failed. So I would come over here, select that, and I see that, select that event, and I see that my connector loss should be no greater than 0.5, and I came in at a 0.54, telling me I do have a problem on that, and here's the potential causes for that. Once I've done that, I can take a look at the rest of my OTDR and see that everything's good. So my only issue is I'm about 42 hundredths of a dB too high on a connector. That connector is located 99 meters, so approximately 100 meters from the start of the fiber. If I'm not used to looking at an OTDR graph, I'll zoom that in. If I'm not used to looking at an OTDR graph, I want something a little bit easier, more intuitive, I can go ahead and select Smart Link. It brings me to an icon-based graphic. Might be a little bit easier to read that. I can see all the same information that I had on my OTDR trace, I now have on my Smart Link mapper. So same event, tells me it's a bad or dirty connector. I can hit Event View and see that the connector loss should be 0.5 and it came in at a 0.542. So again, 42 hundredths of a dB too high. If I come down here and hit Event Diagnostics, it tells me what the threshold is and what the potential causes for that is. So I have the same info. If I'm trying to read this, I can see that I start with my OTDR. It's 11 meters to my first connector. So approximately a 10 meter launch cord is what we're using. Then I've got a 13 meter jumper in here. And then I've got my first mux. It's located 13 meters from my first connector. And again, 24 meters from my OTDR start. I've got my connector here that's dirty. It's located 75 meters after the mux, or a total of approximately 100 meters from my OTDR launch. I can see I have 1,000 meters of fiber here. And I've got a connector located 1,000 meters from the last event, which was my dirty connector, and 1.114 kilometers from the beginning of the OTDR. Then I've got my mux located another 10 meters from my last connector and 1.123 kilometers from my launch. And then the end of my fiber is 17 meters later after that mux, for a total of 1.14 kilometers from my start. So for this link, my total link loss, including my muxes, is 4.199. My link ORL is 40.90. And my fiber length is 1.14 kilometers in length. If I don't like kilometers, I can come up here, hit setup before I shoot the trace or after the shoot the trace, and select kilofeet, for instance. Go ahead and hit results. Now it recalibrates that and puts it into kilofeet. So I've got 36 feet. Then I've got a 44-foot jumper, and then I got a mux, and I got 245 feet to my first connector. And again, I can read that out. Then I got 3.329 kilofeet to my next connector, and so on and so on. If I want to save that report, I can go ahead and hit Fast Report. I want to save it as the file and the PDF. So I want to have it create a PDF. So I'm going to come up here. It's going to name it fiber, lambda number, all of that. Fiber number and the wavelength that's used. There's the channel that's used. I go ahead and hit enter. And it's gone ahead and created that particular file as well as that PDF. I want to find out where that PDF is. Come over here and hit File. Under my test directory, I see the reports I just created. If I want to pull those off with a USB stick, I simply insert a USB stick into one of the USB ports on top. It audibly beeps and shows me that I've got a USB stick inserted. I find the information that I want to pull off, so I'll double click on that file, once, click on that file till it goes orange, and I'm going to select both of those, or I could have just hit select all. Edit, copy, go to my USB flash, paste, and I can see where I just put that particular file there. I then go ahead and hit exit, eject USB. Gives me a green arrow, lets me know after it closes down the USB stick that it's good to pull it out. So you want to wait for that green arrow, pull it out, it's automatically going to beep, tell me it was removed. I'm good to go. Thanks for your time.